In this episode, we'll be tying the Olive Soft Hackle Hare's Ear pattern. This is a pattern that was tied by Idlewild Flies. It's been out of business for a few years now and was a really great producer in our area, especially in the summertime when caddis were more active. As you can see, I have a hook and bead started here already. We're tying this on a Dai Riki 135. This is a size 14, which is on the larger end of the spectrum. And I would tie this down to 18 and even smaller if you're able to pull it off. We also have 7/64 gold bead on the hook there. And then we're tying with an 8/0 olive thread. Here we have a uni thread, but whatever you have that's comparable. So we got that set up in our vise. I'll just get the thread started here behind the bead, just with a few wraps. And then the next thing we're going to tie in is some brassy copper wire. As you go down in size, you might adjust the size of your wire, but this is a good size for this 14. I like it to be a little thicker than your typical ribbing wire diameter. I like it to be really noticeable. And I'll wrap my thread down to the midpoint between the barb and the very outside of the hook there. Next, we're going to tie in some olive hare's ear dubbing, or you can use straight rabbit dubbing in an olive color, but like this bug ear look for this fly. I'm just going to adjust my vise here a little bit. Get this dubbed on the thread. For this fly, we want a pretty significant taper, so starting off fairly small and then quickly building up to a fatter profile. And then by the time we get to the bead itself, we're going to be, the diameter of our dubbing should be a little bit larger than the bead itself. We have a little too much here, so we'll just peel some of that excess off, no big deal. And then we're going to rib our copper wire. Get that tied off behind the bead there. We'll just helicopter that off. And last material we're going to tie in is a feather from this beautiful Hungarian partridge skin, and we're going to grab one of the smaller feathers that's pretty close to the neck. I'm going to prepare this feather. You see the whole feather there. I'm going to grab the tip, and we're going to pull back some of those other fibers. So just the very tip of the feather is exposed. So there we go. We got the tip there, and we're going to set that on my side of the hook, the tire side of the hook, and we want the darker side of the feather, or the convex side of the feather, to be facing out. And we're just going to catch the very tip of that feather. I'm going to pull back that tip and then get a wrap or two right in front. And that kind of disappeared well into the fly, so we're just going to leave it versus trimming it. Next, what we want to do is get those fibers and fold them back. So when we wrap this feather, they all sweep towards the rear of the fly. And then I'm going to wrap this by hand. And we are going to get probably about one full wrap of hackle on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie that off. and then trim that close. Now we're going to make a little collar out of our thread here, and then tie it off. Adjust the camera lens here. This fly can be dead drifted, swung, fished under maybe a caddis dry perhaps. Really great pattern for any freestone trout river in our area and probably around the country.